or three-eye atlas. What do you think? Because you brought up the question of meteor, what's your analysis?
So the three-eye atlas is causing all this controversy, right? People think it is. Some think it's a comet, others think it's an asteroid, a meteor, others think it's a flying saucer, an alien spaceship, right? Coming from other parts of the universe, right? Like the three-eye atlas, what is that? 3 is because it's the third interstellar object. The I stands for interstellar. And Atlas was the equipment that discovered this celestial body.
There you go.
Who supports as a conjecture or hypothesis the idea that it's an alien spacecraft? It's Evil Loeb, right? He's a scientist who has already written the book about extraterrestrials, right? And he's from Harvard and he's stirring up controversy with this possible theoretical speculation that it could be. He never said that at any point.
It's at grade 4, right? He reported it's at grade 4.
That's right, but that's already falling apart because some astronomical observatories in Chile are already identifying the tail,
right,
of this comet. But if it is a comet, and I believe that eventually it will come down to that, being a comet, it will be a completely atypical and different comet from everything we have as a standard for a comet.
That already changed color. It started out red and now it's already green.
And why does it? Is that so?
It's not just about its chemical composition. It also has a pretty high percentage of nickel.
What then? But does that reinforce the idea that it's a meteorite?
No, because having a lot of nickel means it's something that could be manufactured. I see. Since it's many kilometers long, then it could be a spaceship, right? That it was made artificially. Now, why? Because if there's nickel, there should be a higher percentage of iron, and there isn't.
He says that if it comes from other stars, then it could have a different composition than we already have seen.
That's why I'm saying it could be a completely different comet from all the comets that have been detected so far. Another thing that's unusual is the release of carbon dioxide. It's like there's a big industry there, right? Polluting. Because what usually comes off a comet is water. H2O, which doesn't have such a high percentage.
It's low.
It's much lower compared to carbon dioxide, which is already at a certain level. Imagine, for example, the distance from Earth to the Moon. So you have this stretch of space, let's put it that way. Carbon dioxide has already expanded across that distance, the distance between Earth and the Moon. Look at that. It's an impressive thing. And it's estimated to be several kilometers, right? 40-something kilometers, 46, 49. So it's varying around there. And what's interesting is that at first it didn't have that tail, right? The tail was in front like a headlight instead of behind, right? So it's something that's awakening science for study. Yes, October. Now we're going to have it much closer. So I believe that's when it will be proven what this 3 is. An atlas, right? We have to hope it's not an alien ship full of predator crew members, right? Suddenly there's a giant grasshopper there that eats people, right? Because otherwise we're all screwed, right? Because imagine something that huge, how much stuff must be inside it?
Not in Claudio, because in Claudio we have our connections and we're protected there, you know. So only people who go there.
There are luminous ones, ones like Virginia, and the grays that appear in Claudio, right?
But is it 43 kilometers? Is it bigger than Claudio?
Yeah.
A lot.
So Claudio can't handle it, huh? But about the issue you mentioned with the 3 and Atlas, it's exactly him. It changes color because now that it's moving to another one, it's getting closer to the sun. And then its decomposition caused it to change color, according to scientists.
In case it's a comet,
if it's a comet,
now it suddenly seems more likely. Also, something else strange happened. It broke off a certain part of itself, which is right in front. So I don't know if something broke off, it should be left behind, right? it's going like this, it should be. But that's not it. It's going like a little reconnaissance ship.
A reconnaissance one.
And this thing has been there for several days now. That's intriguing the scientists too, right?
And now they're thinking about changing direction because it's coming along a line that's the same as the solar system's path. Us. That's it.
That's what's strange too, because if it's an interstellar comet, it wouldn't follow such an elliptical orbit. And it's actually making an orbit that's in sync with our solar system. Evil Whip, is he really that much of a visionary? Or crazy? I don't know, because he says that Oumuamua, which is another interstellar object, that one was the reconnaissance ship that came, and now they've sent the big ship to actually invade Earth, right? Something like that, right?
Our conclusion here in the chat is if it's really an alien ship arriving here near Earth, this one's a little late. Because what we can see here is a speed from what we've already reported here that's immense. It's coming at it's not such a high speed, extraordinary speed, this comet, right?
No, it's coming, but really fast.
You think so fast?
Really fast.
But based on the reports about these ships, much more faster.
Compared to the UFOs we see, the low altitude really is.
It's just like we discussed off the record, right? We don't know which, considering this is an alien spacecraft, we don't know the level of development of this society,
Let's wait. So,
what if they're just, I don't know, 3 steps ahead of ours, right? Because we expect this contact to be very different. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes it's a neighbor right next door who's a little ahead of
us. And for October, right, Edson?
October, right? They should just do a lottery like that. What do you think? Comet, meteor, or unidentified flying object. Clearly, right? Build a pool, man. Me, for example, I would bet on the comet. You?
Would bet on the comet.
Yeah, on the comet.
It gives a little more, you know.
I would bet on the comet, on a totally different comet, right? Because up until now, some features of this Trasitlus haven't been found in comets we've seen out there.
If you look inside our planet, right, those colonization contacts we had, for example, between Europe and America and everything, it wasn't a technology absurd. There was also a discrepancy between technologies, right, between the two peoples there, the people from Europe and the people from the Americas. There was a technological difference, but it wasn't for that time like huge, but it was something possible, right? What do I mean? So why do we expect this contact to be made with ships like you describe, right? Are these the ones reported in Claudio's case? They could be from different societies, like the one visiting Claudio. It could be a more advanced society, one that has access to this technology that maybe doesn't want so much direct contact. They're here more to study. But it could be that a society similar to ours, in terms of evolution or maybe a little more advanced, comes here by somewhat more conventional means, right? They fly in instead of teleporting, for example. So there's that possibility. But I still think that if I had to bet money because of these 5 years of ufology that I told you about, I already thought Oumuamua was really going to happen. When the subject came up, I said, man, is it now? Wasn't it? So I believe it's something unknown, but that it's natural like that.
Let's treat it as unknown to avoid anxiety. Stay calm, and it's fine.
Let's just think it's a comet, and everything's fine, everything.
And everything's fine. Sometimes, I'm going to bring some other guys here so we can have a chat, and you guys are invited for other times because there's still a lot for us to talk about. Yes, levels of alien that they assign to extraterrestrials. There's Grace and several others, over 30, as they've already said. There's the Varginha one and others, right? And Chupacabra, which has already been debunked. But then within this segment, we're going to present it this way. And then they say that there are actually spiritual contacts with extraterrestrials. And so there's a lot going on in this world of ufology. Some people work seriously, while others just seek media attention in a way that let's try to analyze, let's see what's true and what's not.
Bring in some crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, you've seen it all already, right?